There is a persistent misconception in B2B marketing. The idea that enterprise lead generation is just a faster, larger version of standard consumer lead capture. We often picture a single, isolated prospect dropping smoothly down a frictionless vertical funnel. Standard lead generation is built around capturing these individual contacts, usually by optimizing for simple form fills. The reality of enterprise growth requires a different model. The core unit of analysis shifts from an individual person to a multi-layered account-level buying committee. When an entire organization tries to navigate a standard funnel, the nodes get stuck, branch outward, and loop backward against the walls. This creates significant pipeline risk. Longer sales cycles present opportunities for selling organizations to misread early individual research as late-stage account readiness. A single contact researching options does not mean the account is ready to buy. Momentum breaks when budget cycles fail to align with marketing engagement, internal priorities shift, or legal and procurement departments enter the process months after the initial inquiry. Solving this requires transitioning to a 5-layer enterprise revenue system, an operational framework designed to measure account progression rather than individual lead volume. In enterprise sales, consensus matters more than individual enthusiasm. Because these decisions require a group to move in lockstep, the system's primary role is to reduce the organizational risk that keeps these stakeholders from reaching a collective agreement. Layer 1 of this system is account selection. A functional revenue system begins before campaign execution by mathematically constraining the target universe to prevent resource dilution, filtering the market by strict criteria: company size, regulatory environment, current technology stack, and known operational complexities. Tier 1 accounts are isolated for highly personalized, one-to-one executive engagement. Tier 3 accounts, conversely, receive broader demand generation programs until stronger intent appears. Once an account is selected, Layer 2 is stakeholder mapping. The monolith of the lead must be fractured into its component decision-makers. These distinct roles have conflicting priorities. The executive sponsor strictly evaluates the purchase based on business impact and overall strategic fit. The technical evaluator evaluates the exact same product, but their priorities are entirely focused on integration specifications, reliability, and data security. Meanwhile, finance and procurement approach the evaluation through a lens of vendor risk, compliance terms, and strict cost control. A single piece of marketing collateral or a standardized follow-up sequence cannot satisfy these contradictory demands simultaneously. Building a strategy around a single contact provides a dangerously incomplete view of the opportunity. Stakeholder mapping is the mandatory prerequisite for advancing the deal. Layer 3 is signal interpretation. Intent data is highly ambiguous on its own. It only becomes actionable when interpreted through the lens of the complete buying group. A low-quality signal often misleads sales teams. If a single contact makes a one-time visit to broad educational category research, immediate outreach wastes capacity. Senior and technical roles from the exact same company engaging in parallel with pricing and competitor comparison pages. Capturing these varied signals requires a multi-channel strategy. Organic search naturally captures technical evaluators, while LinkedIn allows for targeted, role-specific executive messaging. Layer 4 introduces proof content. The sheer length of enterprise sales cycles requires vendors to deliver hard, verifiable proof much earlier in the buyer's journey. The exact purpose of proof content is empowerment. It provides internal champions the documentation they need to build confidence and defend a vendor recommendation inside their company before sales is present. This requires specific formats: technical documentation, ROI frameworks without exaggerated claims, and comparison pages clarifying trade-offs. Proof-driven content is not engineered to generate top-of-funnel awareness. Its function is to systematically reduce organizational uncertainty, keeping target accounts progressing during the months they avoid direct sales contact. Applying traditional individual lead scoring to a complex enterprise context reveals a fundamental mechanical mismatch in the system. Assigning arbitrary points to individual actions, like opening an email newsletter or downloading a PDF guide, completely ignores the reality of account-level momentum. The required replacement system is buying group scoring. This gauge only advances when multiple distinct stakeholder nodes register simultaneous engagement. This system evaluates the aggregate number of engaged contacts within the target organization, their specific seniority, and the recency of their interactions. This mechanical constraint prevents a common error, over-prioritizing a highly active individual at an account that lacks the budget or architectural fit. It also prevents the opposite error, under-prioritizing a high-fit account where multiple stakeholders are quietly researching but haven't formally requested a demo. Moving to buying group scoring reveals true account readiness. It protects expensive sales capacity from presenting dead-end inquiries. Layer 5 is measurement. Relying on short-term lead volume is a deceptive practice. It makes enterprise marketing performance look artificially strong while hiding pipeline decay. Single-source attribution fails in long sales cycles. Buyers consume content months before taking a meeting, and branded search often appears at the very end of the evaluation process, masking the earlier touchpoints. Looking at this dashboard, the rigorous metrics required to replace lead volume become clear: target account engagement rate, buying group coverage, and sales accepted account rate. The ultimate goal of enterprise measurement is directional understanding of what moves accounts toward opportunity creation. It is not about assigning perfect credit for a specific click. Constructing a resilient enterprise revenue system requires completely abandoning the individual lead as the primary unit of measurement. Success depends entirely on the systematic progression of buying group readiness.